weeks and going forward. Mr. Davis mentioned he was very dissatisfied with the leadership of the City of East Cleveland. On December 6th, you'll have an opportunity to do something to rectify, to address that dissatisfaction that you've had. We will be having a recall election for both the mayor and the president of the City Council of the City of East Cleveland. Several attempts have been made before to get the mayor on the ballot for recall, unsuccessful. This time we were successful, and we did it by, we knocked well over 1,500 doors in the City of East Cleveland. Closer to 2,000 doors we knocked. So we went to, and we hit every single precinct in every single ward of the City of East Cleveland, and we received signatures from every single precinct of every single ward of the City of East Cleveland. So the mayor's belief that he's solid on the Hill is not correct. Is not correct. We got several signatories and several canvassers from the Hill community. So we have a very significant opportunity in December to fundamentally change the nature of government in the City of East Cleveland and to finally hold our mayors accountable. And so, thank you very much for your time. Yes, Ms. Walcott.
I have a question. The mayor's term up.
The mayor's term is up.
2017.
Well, the next mayoral election would have
The
been
mayoral election.
in November 2017.
Okay, the second part of my question.
And but he would be in office until.
How much does the election cost the City of East Cleveland that's coming directly out of the county money that the City of East Cleveland normally receives?
So it could cost us
$25,000.
approximately $25,000. Now, or $30,000. And this is okay.
No, $25,000.
Councilman O'Mays, Mr. O'Mays, I asked the
Right,
speaker.
25 to 30,000. But let's
let's
accept the upper estimate. Let's say that we accept the upper estimate as the cost.
Right.
There would have been a recall election anyway because there was a recall election going to be scheduled for Thomas Wheeler. So doing both at the same time actually saves us money. Also, one should factor the cost of the lawsuit that was brought against the city as a consequence of the action of the administration, which got us a cost of about $100,000. So the cost of keeping Gary Norton, the cost of his mismanagement, the cost of the $30,000 pay raise that he gave his chief of staff during fiscal emergency will be made up by the cost of this, will more than cover the cost of this recall election.
Once he's recalled, then the president of council takes that seat, who is Councilman Wheeler. And he do
It is the office of the president. It is not the individual who happens to be occupying that office at the moment. And so if that council president is also recalled, then there will be an organizational meeting, provided that the council president has not already been changed prior to that election. And then the council president assumes office. But it's not Thomas Wheeler. They're both recalled.
I mean the president.
Yes, so if they're both recalled, then the acting president at that time will assume office until the next special or regular election.
Right.
Yes,
You know
that
what?
is the case.
You know what?
Wait a minute, Paul.
But I'm gonna tell you what. Just like you got those votes, like you got those votes out there. I want you to do the same thing for here. If you get that many votes, you can get that many votes for her.
You're out of order. Go ahead.
Well, the point about Hillary,
just jump up like
actually, I did work on the campaign, and that's what I was doing for a living, actually. And I quit my job so that we could rectify our municipal government in the City of East Cleveland. It cost me personally about $3,000 to go out and do that.
Okay, Jay, stand up so they can hear your question.
I have a question. So with the recalls now being on the ballot, what does that mean in terms
Does
of
she
the
talk to us? Is she talking to just you guys or everybody?
Oh, no, I was asking him a question, but I can face it once you walk. I'm sorry. So my question was, with the recall being on the ballot, now what does that mean for the merger process for the city? Is that going to be stalled or?
It has no direct impact.
It is stalled.
It has no direct impact. It may have an impact on the outcome. I do believe that the results will likely have some ramifications for the process of recall. So if the residents reject Gary Norton by a significant amount and Tom Wheeler, then I think that would be a very strong indicator, as he's been the only significant champion of annexation, that annexation, and it should never be called merger, it is annexation. There's a difference. You don't, one large party does not merge with a small party. You don't, a mom and pop store doesn't merge with Walmart. It's acquired. It's acquired. It doesn't merge.
Okay, we take.
And so, one question that
Just need one more question. Oh, Mayor, you'll be next. I gotta get Tanya in here because she gotta go. So give patience. You're next. Tiffany, ask your question.
I think, Tiffany,
Great job, by the way.
thank you.
You know, for me to say that openly.
Watch the flag. Watch the flag.
But on
Watch the
another
flag.
level,
Watch
Hold on,
the flag.
yes, and watch our flag.
this is very important what I'm about to ask
Stand our
Devin.
flag.
Can we have just a little bit of quiet, because I think everybody needs to know, what do you need residents to do from now till December? What is the next step?
So there will be press conferences, there will be meetings called, and there will be efforts to organize people to go door to door, because that's the only reliable way to get people out. So we want people who normally register to have their ballot by mail, to do absentee voting, that they do that on time. We've had history in East Cleveland of people turning in their request for a ballot a week before the election and then don't get the ballot, and upset with the Board of Elections because of their tardiness. And so we can't have that. So we just need to make sure that our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed. I think we have a very significant chance to win this election and to remove Gary Norton. And it is critical because, and this is my closing point, Gary Norton mentioned that that this is a waste of funds because we would have an election, a mayoral election next year anyway. But there's a timeline for this commission. Once they are appointed, Cleveland has 30 days to appoint them, then they have 4 months to negotiate. We could be voting for our city next November. So we may not have another mayor of East Cleveland. And so we cannot have a mayor who has manipulated the process in order to prevent residents from accessing information. I believe that commission was appointed in error. He used as leverage his willingness to support getting outside funds for a feasibility study, and said he would not support that until they appointed a commission. Now, the feasibility study is what should precede any significant conversation on something of this magnitude, because without a feasibility study, you have no concrete information about which to debate, about which to discuss. So the first step that I'm going to take, and I ask you to do it, is to contact members of the City Council of Cleveland and ask them to not appoint a commission. Don't appoint a commission, and to support instead a feasibility study. Support instead the effort of the Council of East Cleveland to receive funding for a feasibility study. And then once that feasibility study is in, then I'm all for a commission being appointed, and let us vote and have it done with. Present our side to the people of East Cleveland, let them present their side to the people, and let the people decide. And I believe both sides presented with full information, we will keep our city independent.
And
So,
lastly, do you know the next?
No, let him go. He said 3 minutes. I gave him 3 minutes now.
Oh, man, you're not running this side.
right,
But do you know the next
Well,
time
we are.
anybody
Be
from East
patient.
Cleveland will be going to
You get
city
your chance to
council?
say all the time. You be
together?
patient sometimes.
To anything, to city council, to ask them.
no, you don't have to go. You can make phone calls. Their numbers are on the website of Cleveland City Council, so you can call each council person. They have offices and numbers to call. And if they hear from the residents of East Cleveland what is a reasonable thing, I think that we should have a vote, because as long as the question is an uncertainty, that does have a negative impact on development, because people don't want to invest in relationships with a government that's not going to exist in 6 months. I want it to come to a vote, but I want it to come to a vote in a situation where the residents of East Cleveland and the residents of Cleveland have some concrete information at the beginning of the process. Not intentionally scheduling the process. It takes about 3 to 4 months to do a feasibility study. So that would be the entirety of the